one day you're gonna be a dad, right?
Yeah.
Justin Jr. sitting on your lap. When they say, Dad, what was the best part about your teenage years? What would you say?
Best part of the teenage years.
Owning a Ferrari.
No, not that. Probably my relationship with my ex-girlfriend.
That's deep.
I think people forget in our situation, like, we had history with each other.
This is so crazy. I've literally never talked about this ever. I understand, again, how it looks from the outside, and there's a lot of perception there, but that was a situation where I know for a fact that it was the right thing for them to close that door. They were not in a relationship at that time.
Kendall Jenner may have just accidentally confirmed the growing speculation that Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber might actually be headed for divorce. And for those who've been wondering why this supposed split is coming right after the birth of their baby and why the energy between them has felt off lately, Kendall might have unintentionally provided some clarity on those questions as well. She didn't release a statement or post anything online, but she attended a close-knit event and ended up sharing too much. According to sources close to her, she gave just enough away for people to start connecting the dots. So did Kendall really confirm that Justin and Hailey are calling it quits? Let's break this down.
Your husband was in a very public relationship. They were kids. People were obsessed with the idea of them. People were confused on the timeline you're talking about of like, is she a homewrecker? So I guess my question is, Hailey, were you ever with Justin romantically at the same time as her?
No. Not one time.
As y'all already know by now, it's not news that Justin and Hailey's marriage has been under intense public scrutiny. There have been constant rumors of tension between the two, but this new wave of speculation started when Justin was recently caught on video, visibly upset with the paparazzi who were simply filming him while he was trying to get a cup of coffee. Again, it is no secret that Hollywood destroyed Justin, and for the longest time, he has had a difficult time navigating fame, especially the long-term effects of being in the industry since childhood. But this particular moment with the paparazzi struck a nerve with the public. People weren't just concerned for him, they started wondering what Hailey might be going through in private. If this is how he reacts in public, how heavy are things behind closed doors?
Money, 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 money. Money, get out of here, bro. Money. That's all you want. You don't care about people. All you want is money. Go. Get out of here. All you guys want is money.
So after that incident, Kendall, who for context is close friends with both Justin and Hailey, allegedly weighed in on the situation. And because of her close ties to the couple, people took her words seriously. The moment she spoke up, even casually, the internet began to speculate that she knew more than she was letting on. Word is that Kendall may have shared more than she intended to about her friend's relationship. Apparently, during a private event with close friends, she hinted that the divorce is not just real, it's been long overdue. You know those small, intimate gatherings where people let their guard down after a few shots? Sources say that it was in a setting like that where Kendall revealed what many have suspected for a while. And what made the claim feel even more credible to fans was how closely it aligned with the clear shift that they've been noticing in Justin and Hailey's public behavior. Some of the signs people had already been picking up on are, for starters, Justin and Hailey have drastically reduced their public appearances together. At first, most fans assumed it was due to Hailey's pregnancy, and it made sense that she would be staying indoors more, focusing on her health and getting the rest that she needed. But even after the baby arrived, their time in public as a couple didn't increase. In fact, it declined even more. And while people continued giving them the benefit of the doubt, assuming that new parenthood might be overwhelming, the pattern started becoming harder to ignore. Things really shifted when fans noticed that not only were Justin and Hailey rarely seen together, but they also had started showing up at the same events separately, and even leaving separately. One moment that stood out happened as recently as March 2025. Justin was seen attending a church service alone, and most people assumed Hailey had stayed home. But a video later surfaced of her leaving the same venue through a completely different exit, surrounded by her friends with no interaction with Justin at all. That moment really had people questioning, why would a married couple with a newborn at home go out of their way to avoid being seen together? Another thing that made fans invested was Justin's social media behavior. Back in February, he briefly unfollowed Hailey on Instagram and then quickly followed her back once people started talking and claimed that he had been hacked. He later took to IG and wrote, "Someone went to my IG and unfollowed my wife. Is getting sus out here." Shortly after that, Hailey also unfollowed Justin and refollowed, and then came up with what many considered a explanation just as lame as Justin's. She wrote, "It's a glitch. Didn't unfollow him. Hope this helps." At the time, all these were dismissed as glitches or misunderstandings, but in the context of everything else, it started to feel like another piece of a much bigger puzzle. Even so, what really hit hard has been the shift in how they refer to each other. In the past, their posts were filled with affectionate nicknames, tags, comments, and open displays of love, but lately, it's been completely silent. The most jarring moment came when Hailey, during an interview, apparently referred to Justin as "my child's father" instead of "my husband," or simply just Justin. And that wording caught people off guard, not just because it felt distant, but because it was such a sharp contrast from the way that she used to speak about him. What's even crazier is that she was discussing their future plans. It's subtle, but it is the kind of shift that suggests something deeper is going on. And for a lot of people watching, it was a sign that things may be way past the point of saving. We could go on and on and on, mentioning the whole trail of red flags Justin and Hailey have displayed in the course of their relationship and marriage. Even if you haven't been paying attention, everyone is well aware that there has been a trail of issues leading up to this exact moment. Kendall just kind of supposedly confirmed that Justin and Hailey's marriage is hanging on by a very thin thread. Not to mention that rare moment when Hailey's own dad took to Instagram and literally begged the world to pray for them. He wrote, "Christians, when you think of Justin and Hailey, take a moment to offer a little prayer for them to have wisdom, protection, and to draw close to the Lord." This wasn't just some random churchy post. That was a silent scream for help wrapped in Christianese. And now it makes perfect sense why he felt the need to go public with that. But let's get into the real details. What exactly did Kendall actually say? Well, close sources spilled that Kendall didn't just vaguely hint at trouble. She detailed the exact reason why this couple is basically done, that it is all rooted in Justin's ongoing mental health struggles. According to the sources, Kendall said that Justin has particularly been in a really dark place for over a year now, and it has been hell for Hailey to manage, especially with a toddler in the mix. Again, the timeline checks out. Not too long ago, the internet was collectively asking, why does Justin Bieber always look so sad? There were weeks where he was legit photographed looking like a shell of his former self. Like there was this dark cloud hovering over him. And at first glance, you would assume that he was carrying the whole world on his back. And it didn't help that he started posting crying selfies. And then there were rumors about him cutting off everyone in his inner circle, even his family. Word on the street was that he didn't want anyone near his baby, and that included family, longtime friends, and even Hailey's people. The report read, Justin Bieber has changed a lot. He just wants to be careful who he has around him on a day-to-day basis. He sometimes finds it hard to trust. He is also working with a lot less bodyguards and drivers, preferring to drive him and Hailey himself on outings. But the part that really hits hard is probably the fact that from Kendall's said meeting, we learned that Justin only ever seems happy when he is likely under the influence. The most recent example of this was that road event where he showed up looking completely out of it. Fans said that he was smiling like a zombie, swaying like he could barely stay on his feet. It was bad, like really bad. Now, according to insiders, Kendall's confession confirms what we all feared. Justin's mental state is spiraling, and Hailey's patience has finally run out. She has been holding it down for as long as she could, but she is drained. Emotionally, physically, all of it. Would you believe that that unpleasant moment with the paparazzi was apparently just the tip of the iceberg, according to Kendall's sources? She claims that Justin's meltdowns normally spiral to wild proportions. Okay, to be fair, Justin has always been transparent about battling depression, anxiety, and all, but this new report says that it has been way worse behind the scenes, like dangerously worse.
Just got married. I hit a little bit of an emotional breakdown because I thought marriage was gonna fix all my problems. Wow. And it didn't. It just kind of was a reflection of like, man, you're a bit of a hypocrite, man. Like you want your wife to do something that you're not doing. And it's like, I mean, it's hard sometimes to look in the mirror and really have to, as man, maybe you're not the person that you necessarily thought that you were.
Now, according to Kendall, one of the biggest things weighing down this relationship, aside from the emotional distance and public red flags, is the never-ending online harassment and constant comparisons to Selena Gomez. To be honest, the fact that we're still talking about this in 2025 is insane. Like, it has been years. And yet, Hailey still can't post a single selfie without somebody mentioning Selena. That kind of pressure is exhausting. And Kendall supposedly confirmed that this endless cycle of comparison has done real damage to Hailey. Not just to her self-esteem, but to the foundation of her marriage. Apparently, Hailey has had to become super calculated with everything that she does in public because no matter how small the move, it is always twisted into a Selena versus Hailey narrative. Every outfit, every quote, every blink, and as we all saw recently, Selena's engagement immediately turned into who had a better engagement ring. So after nearly 6 years of marriage, that kind of noise would get to anyone. I mean, how do you stay sane when the comment section under your own husband's post is still full of should have been Selena? But here's where it gets heavier. Fans might not even be Hailey's biggest problem in all of this. The real wound, according to Kendall's sources, is the fact that Justin has never truly let go of Selena. Yeah, that allegedly came straight from Kendall's mouth. And considering how close she is to both of them, it didn't take long for people to believe that she was speaking from direct knowledge. She's not just some mutual friend, she is in the room seeing things play out firsthand. And if that wasn't messy enough, it's not like Justin helped the situation either. At one point, while he was already married to Hailey, he literally told the world in an interview that the best memory of his teens was his relationship with his ex. Imagine how that must have felt for Hailey. Like, your man publicly says that about another woman while you're at home building a life together. If disrespect had a face, it would be Justin's in that moment.
What was the best part about your teenage years? What would you say?
Best part of the teenage years.
Owning a Ferrari.
No, not that. Probably my relationship with my ex-girlfriend.
That's deep.
Now, you would think with all of this tension, they would have turned to therapy, communication, maybe even taking time apart to heal, but nah, they allegedly took another route, a baby. Yeah, according to Kendall, things were already crumbling and they were on the verge of breaking up, but instead of facing the issues, they decided to have a child in hopes that it would pull them closer, give their marriage new meaning, and basically act as emotional glue. But if anything, it looks like it's done the opposite. The pressure of parenting has only added more strain, and now people close to them feel like the baby became more of a distraction than a solution. It's like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. It might look better from the outside, but inside it is still bleeding. Even blind items, which 9 out of 10 times can never be trusted, have been reporting about this tension for months, and a lot seems to check out. Some even say that right after their honeymoon, Justin allegedly drove over to Selena's house. If that is even half true, then this marriage was clearly on the wrong track from the jump. Like, if your heart is still in another zip code, why are you signing wedding papers?
I mean, do you see yourself, do you think you'll ever get back together? Is that a hope for you? Do you think that could happen?
Maybe. I mean, we have a lot of history together, so I'm sure, I mean, it possibly could happen.
And y'all, we cannot talk about this situation without bringing up the family drama and Kendall's very messy position in all of it. Let's start with Hailey's dad, Stephen Baldwin. People have been questioning his moves for years. Whether he's meant to or not, many feel like he groomed Hailey into marrying Justin, and that's a narrative he will never outlive. It's one of those things that quietly hangs in the background, but it's been weighing on Hailey and reportedly put even more pressure on her marriage. Whispers going all all the way back to 2018, people were already calling this marriage a business move. Word on the street has been that the Baldwins saw Bieber as a cash cow and that her dad specifically was chasing pop culture relevance through Justin. If that's true, it paints this whole thing in a very different light, but no one has ever proved this. Additionally, many have insisted that Hailey was way too young to carry the emotional weight of being Bieber's wife, especially with his mental health struggles. She was only 22, and instead of enjoying a soft, newlywed era, Hailey was dealing with global headlines and her man allegedly stuck on his ex. Now, fast forward to this year, and if Kendall really did confirm that Justin still hasn't let go of Selena, that would mean that those early predictions weren't just gossip. They were facts waiting to be exposed. And the plot thickens, y'all. Kendall isn't just some random observer. She has been close to both Hailey and Justin for years. She and Hailey are besties. Vacations, fashion week, matching outfits, the whole thing. But she also has a history with Justin, like allegedly they were dating before he married Hailey type of history. If y'all can remember, word was that back when Justin was on top of the game, Justin was passed around the Kardashian daughters, and that's how he allegedly got with Kendall briefly. Neither of them have ever publicly confirmed nor denied those claims, but we all know for a fact that Justin and Kendall were in each other's lives from years back. So much so that the streets still remember just how much Selena Gomez couldn't stand Kendall. That dynamic alone makes Kendall's position way more complicated than it looks from the outside. Back in 2020, during one of those cute little Instagram lives with Justin and Hailey, Kendall joined, and when Bieber asked if she had seen their marriage coming, she straight up said, honestly, no. And y'all, Hailey's face dropped. Like, she did not expect that answer. The vibe shifted instantly, and that moment right there made it pretty clear things have not always been smooth under the surface.
Look at us two. We're like we're a happy married family.
I love it.
Would you have real quick question, did you see this coming?
See what coming? You too? Honestly, no. I was super I didn't know. I think I hoped.
Even now in 2025, Kendall and Hailey are still hanging out publicly, grabbing dinner in West Hollywood, dropping sisterly selfies. But if the rumors are true, Kendall's private thoughts about this marriage paint a very different story than her public posts. And maybe that's the whole point. In Hollywood, loyalty and image don't always walk hand in hand. Sometimes being in the inner circle means knowing too much and spilling too much as well. That's what makes Kendall's role so interesting. She's in the inner circle, but still carrying unspoken history, unfiltered opinions, and unaddressed tension. She's been friends with Justin and allegedly dated him. She's Hailey's bestie, but couldn't fake shock when their marriage happened. And even now, while Hailey's marriage seems to be cracking under pressure, Kendall is still playing the polished, neutral party. But is she really neutral, or is she low-key adding fuel to the fire? Because if she went this deep spilling tea about her bestie's marital troubles, then Hailey doesn't need enemies if she has friends like that. Y'all, this triangle runs deep, and the lines between loyalty, history, and performance are blurring fast. I am curious to know what you think is really going on behind the scenes. Is Kendall just being a loyal bestie, or is she hiding way more than we think? Drop all of your thoughts down below, because this drama is far from over, and I know y'all got opinions. And look, Kendall hasn't gone public with any of these. What we have is multiple friends who are actually there, apparently backing it up. Hailey, Justin, or Kendall haven't confirmed nor denied any of these claims, and nevertheless, the claims have been completely consistent with the public's presence, so safe to say this isn't just hearsay, this is looking real. Thanks for watching, loves, and I'll catch you in the next one.